For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Sidian, and this is the weekly news recap brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorial.com, memorials that matter. Authorities have released the name of one of two suspects being held for a fatal shooting last weekend in Frazee. 21-year-old Arthur Campbell of New York Mills remains in the Becker County Jail, while a 16-year-old is being held in juvenile detention. The Becker County Sheriff's Office has identified the victim as 19-year-old Bryson May of Frazee. Deputies were called around 2:30 Saturday morning for a disturbance. While deputies were responding, there was another report of shots being fired and 4 suspects fleeing the scene in a black SUV. They arrived to find May had been shot. He was taken to Essentia St. Mary's Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. The SUV was found a short time later by an Ottawa County deputy north of Perham, and 4 people were detained. A motive for the shooting is not known. The Fergus Falls Fire Department responded to a house fire early Monday morning that caused $20,000 worth of damage. Fire Chief Ryan Muckow says that when fire crews arrived to the house on East Fir Avenue around 3:14, the sole occupant of the home was standing outside. Smoke was coming from the 2 sides of the house, and the flames could be seen through the front window. Muckow says the first engine on the scene had the fire under control within 5 minutes of arriving. Additional crews conducted a search, ventilated the smoke, and extinguished remaining hot spots. Muckow says that the cause of the fire is undetermined after investigation. However, it is not suspicious. No one was injured. A Perham man has been sentenced to almost 10 years in jail for having over 300 grams of methamphetamine. On Monday, 42-year-old Matthew Stephen Torgerson was sentenced to 115 months in the Minnesota Correctional Facility in St. Cloud for first-degree possession of meth. Prosecutors say a Fergus Falls police officer was driving near Cleveland School on July 26th when they recognized Torgerson on a motorized scooter for having active warrants for his arrest. The officer turned around and located Torgerson in a line of thick bushes after crashing the scooter. Torgerson was taken into custody, and officers found on him 323.9 grams of methamphetamine, as well as $2,348 in cash. He pleaded guilty to first-degree drug possession in October. A Minneapolis man is facing charges of theft and forgery in Ottawa County. 55-year-old Shane Carl Nelson was recently arrested for cashing forged checks at banks in Fergus Falls and Underwood back in May. Prosecutors say Nelson and another man had cashed 3 total checks bearing the name of the victim's business and its routing number. The victim reported that all 3 of the checks used the victim's signature from previous checks and even the same check number, but the values for the fakes were not the same as the originals. In total, $6,935 was taken from the victim's bank account. Court documents say an arrest warrant for Nelson was issued in August, and he was taken into custody on December 17th. He made his first court appearance Monday morning. After weeks of mischief and hijinks, the Grant County Sheriff's Office has apprehended its most wanted. Sheriff John Combs says that on Monday, the Sheriff's Office arrested the individual known as the Grinch after a county-wide holiday crime spree. The Grinch is suspected of multiple mischievous incidents throughout Grant County during the holiday season, culminating in the theft of an Ashby Firetruck. Sheriff Combs says deputies located the stolen truck and initiated a short pursuit. The Grinch eventually abandoned the vehicle and attempted to run on foot, but Deputy Logan Nelson caught up to the suspect and took the Grinch into custody. The arrest was made without further incident, and the fire truck was safely recovered. The Grant County Sheriff's Office would like to remind the public that while holiday cheer is encouraged, stealing emergency vehicles, causing chaos, and attempting to ruin Christmas across Grant County is not. Combs thanks the deputies and community for their patience during the Grinch's holiday rampage.
Grant County residents can rest a little easier knowing Christmas is back on track. Thank you.
Evidence of the Grinch's crimes can be seen on the Grant County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. This has been the Weekly News Recap, brought to you by Fergus Falls Monument, online at foreverstonmemorial.com, memorials that matter. For KBRFradio.com News, I'm Sidian. Tune in at 5 o'clock every Friday afternoon on KBRFradio.com or on the Fergus Now app to stay up to date with local news. Find more stories on KBRFradio.com. Sign up for email news sent right to your inbox, delivered by Cooper's Office Supply.